Hello, my name is Bree, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel, Breezy Banter, a place where I talk about the things I want to talk about. In today's video, I'm continuing the series that I'm doing here on my channel regarding my experiences purchasing from indie perfume houses. If you're not aware, indie perfume is something near and dear to my heart, and it's really only something that I've started to get into over the past couple of years. It first started with my interest in indie makeup, and slowly that morphed into exploring indie perfume houses. There's a variety of reasons for this, including the fact that indie perfume houses can often be cheaper than more traditional perfume houses. They often have what I would consider to be more interesting scents and more, let's say, nuanced scents. I very much do not like rose as a note, and I find that rose is just such a common note within more mainstream brands, and of course indie perfumes do still use rose as a note sometimes, but I just find it to be far less predominant within the indie sphere compared to mainstream. I also find that there's just a great community of people who are interested in indie perfumes, and I enjoy being a part of that. So in today's video, I'm going to be covering my experience with Alchemia. What I'll be doing is describing my experience ordering from the store, so whether or not I had any issues, and if I did, what my experience was like with customer service. I'll just say up front, I never had to reach out to customer service, so no issues there. I'll describe the shipping timeframes that I experienced, and I'll provide my general thoughts on the brand. So what I'll be doing is going through the list of all of the perfumes that I've sampled from Alkemia, along with a scent description of those perfumes, and then what my general impression of that perfume was. I'll indicate whether or not I decided to full size any of the samples that I tried, and I'll tell you my rating of the perfume out of 10. Generally speaking, if something is an 8 to a 10 out of 10, then I'm considering full sizing it. On occasion, there are a handful of scents that I might have given an 8 or 9 to, but that perfume might be too similar to some other scents that I already have, in which case I might indicate that although I really enjoy the scent, I won't be full sizing it. Conversely, if I give a 1 to a 3 to a scent, then that means that I really did not like it. And then of course everything else is in the middle. And just for some background, when it comes to fragrances, I really enjoy very feminine, gourmand, vanilla heavy scents. So I've explained before that my ideal situation would be to smell like a cupcake just all of the time. Anything that has notes such as vanilla, buttercream, sugar, frosting, cake, etc. are notes that I tend to really vibe with. There are some notes that are more they can be hit or miss. So this includes some fruit notes, for example, peach. And then in addition to that, there are of course notes that I don't tend to enjoy, which often includes, though not always, there are exceptions, smoke, incense, and anything that leans more masculine. There might be a handful of masculine scents that I don't mind, but on myself, they very much are the exception rather than the rule. So that just gives you a sense of what I'm looking for when I try perfumes. Of course, there are perfumes that I would describe as feminine, but aren't necessarily like cupcake levels of sweet that I still tend to enjoy. So with all of that said, let's get into it. So the first perfume that I have here is 2023 number 8, and this is a reference to, they do experimental batches of perfumes that they might not release as a permanent product. And so this one I got for really cheap during this most recent July sale that they had, and it's described as orange dreamsicles, banana taffy, pink lotus, and white amber. I haven't tried it just yet, but I have opened the bottle to smell it, and I think it smells incredible, and I'm very glad that I purchased a full size of this. I did blind buy the full size largely because it was on such a large discount during the July sale. I can't remember now off the top of my head how much it was, but I seem to think it was around $12 for a 5 ml bottle, which is quite cheap. And I suspect, based on what I smelled in the bottle, this is gonna be like a 9 or 10 out of 10. Next is the scent Affaire de Coeur. For this one, I blind bought it as a full size. I rated it 8 out of 10. It's described as sweet musk, vanilla, tonka, and white amber. I said this scent is a safe, sexy, and cozy vanilla. So if I recall correctly, this scent is just kind of your bog standard, slightly feminine, vanilla heavy, type of scent, which is what I enjoy, but it's also just not a standout because of that. Next is the scent Amour Conjure, which I rated 2 out of 10, so I will not be full-sizing it. The notes are dark amber, copper distilled patchouli, Bulgarian rose, Ceylon cinnamon, and vetiver. I said I definitely did not like this. Again, it's not rose scent, although I like amber and patchouli, which I don't actually think that's correct. I think at the time I thought I might like patchouli. Now it's a little more hit or miss, often more of a miss. But anyways, I wrote, although I like amber and patchouli, the combination of the two with the rose mostly just resulted in intense rose. Plus it irritated my skin, not majorly, just some redness and itchiness when first applied, but it calmed down after a bit. I will also mention I do have sensitive skin in that because there was cinnamon in this, it often irritates my skin when I first apply. And there might be 1 or 2 minutes of discomfort and then it tends to go away. I've never had something last like longer than 2 minutes in terms of discomfort. Keep that in mind if you also have sensitive skin. Next is Baiser du Soleil. I rated this 8 out of 10 and I might full size it. It's described as black coconut musk, white musk, vanilla orchid, star jasmine, white hyacinth. I said that this scent is definitely musky, but in a very warm and cozy way. The vanilla and floral notes give it some sweetness. It's very cozy in the winter scent. Next is the scent Calliope. I rated this 9 out of 10 and I have full size the sample that I originally tried. It's described as a beguiling divertisement of piquant clementine, orange blossoms, white orchid, sugared currants, tonka, and vanilla musk rolled with flirtatious teases of billowy cotton candy floss and kisses of saltwater taffy. I said that this scent smelled so good on my clothes after I wore it. I do get the slightest whiff of the taffy, which gives this a little je ne sais quoi while wearing it. It's definitely different and fun. Next is Carnival of Illustrious Hearts. I rated this 9 out of 10 and I've since full-sized the sample that I tried. It's described as a glittering gourmet gala of French sugar creams, candied orange blossoms, raspberry cotton candy, rosewater torte, filling, and bourbon vanilla amber. I said the scent starts out quite floral heavy, but it mellows to a floral and amber misk. It's certainly different from what I tend to like, but I do quite enjoy it. Next is the scent Come To Me. I rated this 5 out of 10, so I will not be full-sizing it. It's described as candied rose petals, star jasmine, Mexican vanilla, cashmere, white amber, sugar musk, and pheromones. I said that I got flowers and musk from the scent. It would surely be lovely for floral lovers. Next is the scent Confectionaire. I actually wore this one yesterday and I haven't yet updated my spreadsheet. I think I'm gonna rate it an 8 out of 10. And I might full size it. It's described as an irresistible allure of heavenly angel food cake, French macarons, vanilla toffees, bergamot orange tartlets, cassis liqueur, coconut orchid, neroli, orange blossom, gardenia, santal musk, and caramel amber. And like I said, I haven't updated my spreadsheet, so that's my mistake. But I think this scent was very, very sweet. Like, it's very sugary. However, I found the longevity to be on the shorter end of things. Like, I could still smell it at the end of the day, but I really had to be like all up on my arm to be able to smell it. Though that being said, I did get a compliment while wearing it, so something to keep in mind. Next is the scent County Fair. I rated this 9 out of 10, and I will be full sizing this in the future. It's described as pink cotton candy, hot kettle corn, funnel cakes, candied apples, saltwater taffy. That I was nervous about this because I got more of a caramel popcorn vibe from it on first application, but it quickly mellowed into a sweet and intriguing scent. It's soft and lovely and feminine. Next is the scent Cupid's Arrow. I rated this 8 out of 10, and I might full size it in the future. It's described as sugar cubes effervescing in sparkling champagne, seductive pink orchids and white tuberoses, tempting vanilla toffees, and fragrant Buddha's hand. I said that this scent reminds me of Nocturne Alchemy's scent Sugar Llama, which is limited edition, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty difficult to get your hand on it. So if you did enjoy that scent, this might be one that you could substitute it with. I said it's definitely a sugary sweet scent. The only reason it doesn't score higher is because I found it to be relatively weak. However, I was complimented while wearing this. Next is the scent Fairy Floss Alchemy. I got this as a free full size because if you spend more than, I believe it's $50 on their site, they have a free monthly 5 ml bottle that you get, and this was the one for August. And it's described as sweet, billowy cotton candy clouds with white heliotrope, night blooming jasmine, twists of mandarin orange, vanilla orchid, and a fey enchantment of ethereal musks. Similarly to the very first scent that I started with, I have not yet tried this. I did open the bottle to smell it, and I think I will quite like it. Of course, things smell different in the bottle versus, or they can smell different when in the bottle versus applied to the skin. So it's possible my thoughts on this will change. At least in the bottle, it smelled less sweet than I was expecting. I was really expecting to get like a cotton candy smell, and definitely could see the cotton candy and I could see the sugar, but it was less in your face than I was really expecting. Next is the scent Ghostfire. I rated this 9 out of 10, and I might full size it. It's described as a preternaturally beautiful blend of ethereal white ambers. I said this smells extremely similar to Firebird's Saltwater. It is so unreal. It might be slightly sweeter than Firebird's Saltwater, however, and I thought this was really interesting because the notes for Firebird, saltwater, ocean water, salt air, and driftwood, and that has nothing in common with a preternaturally beautiful blend of ethereal white ambers. So this was very strange to me that these smelled as similar as they did. So I don't know what to make of that. I think the Firebird saltwater scent is more true to the description than Ghostfire in this case. Like, when I smelled Firebird Saltwater, I was like, yes, okay, like reading the notes, I understand where it's coming from. Whereas with Ghostfire, I don't get amber, I get saltwater. Luckily for me though, I love the saltwater scent from Firebird, so it is a point in its favor. Next is the scent Honored Ghosts. I rated this 5 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. It's described as Earl Grey tea, black raspberry creams, rose water saffron syrup, cinnamon honey, white amber, and vanilla incense. I said this smells way different from a distance than from close up. Up close, it is very much as described. Tea, rose, cinnamon, incense with some slight sweetness. From afar, it's more slightly spiced incense with some sweet notes, which is very interesting. Next is the scent Infamous Muse. I rated this 6 out of 10. It's described as Arabian jasmine, ylang ylang, coconut orchid, mignonette, bittersweet cacao, black amber, dark opium, and smoldering labdanum incense. I said that this is a really interesting scent. I found it difficult to pick up on any of the individual notes, but the result is something both sweet and floral. I swear after a few hours the scent turned vaguely blueberry pancakes, but I would be hesitant to recommend it to someone based on that description. But it was a very strange experience. This one also irritated my skin upon application. Next is the scent Koi No Yokan. I rated this 7 out of 10. Described as plum blossom, lotus, lily of the valley, cedar, black currant, and tamarind. I said the scent originally came across as a very typical department store rose scent, but over the day it mellowed into a lovely soft feminine floral scent. If I was more into florals, I would full size this. Next is the scent Lost Highways. I rated this 7 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. It's described as palm leaf, spice bush, new hay, Acadian pine, desert night flowers, linden blossom, and white patchouli. So this is a very interesting scent. I almost get aquatic notes from it, but upon further sniffing, it seems like a mix of aquatics and some floral and herbal notes. Next is the scent Madame Pearl, which is a very well-beloved scent from Alchemia. I rated it 9 out of 10, and I've since full-sized it. It came back during the July sale, although it is probably their most well-selling scent. My understanding is that there's one of the components in the perfume is either difficult for them to acquire, or takes a really long time to acquire, and so it's no longer available in their general catalog. This is described as fine white tea leaves, delicate bone china, a parchment letter from a mysterious stranger, a menage a trois of elegant vanillas, and a piquant pinch of aphrodisiac white pepper. And I said I wasn't expecting to like this as much as I did, given I don't tend to enjoy tea scents. This was soft, somewhat musky and floral. It smelled very department store perfume in the bottle, but it was lovely once applied, and I was told that I smelled soft when I wore this. Next is the scent Memoirs of a Woman of Pleasure, and this is my all-time favorite scent. Not just from Alchemia, but in general. I was fortunate enough to have blind bought this one as a full size, and I rated 10 out of 10, of course, like 1700 out of 10. It's described as cashmere, Japanese boudoir incenses, caramel pralines, Vanilla Orchid, Orris, and Candied Lemon. I said this scent is incredible. The interplay of the incense and softer notes is super nice and results in a cozy, warm, and sexy scent. I was told by two people that I smelled like delicious caramel, which is quite interesting. It's a bit unfortunate that this is my favorite scent because I talk about it and recommend it to like friends and people on Reddit and whatnot, but I don't know how to describe, for example, the very first note is cashmere. I don't know what that smells like. It's in this perfume, it's the first note, and I like it, so presumably I like the smell of cashmere, but it's difficult for me to pick up on. And like Orris, I'm just not that familiar with it. Things like Candied Lemon, Vanilla Orchid, sure. And it's also quite interesting because, as I mentioned, I don't tend to enjoy incenses. It's the second note in this particular perfume, and it's my favorite. I think it's a softer type of incense within this particular perfume. Next is the scent Misdeeds After Midnight. I rated it 9 out of 10, and I have full-sized it. It's described as a hedonistic adventure of late-night coffee liqueur, white rum, and a splash of creme de bergamot, black forest raspberries dipped in salted caramel, and Arabian rosewater infused with vetiver root tumbling wantonly together into a seductive bed of vanilla musk and golden amber. I said that this scent is warm and cozy and sexy. I don't really get all of the alcohol notes as I thought, and I thought it would have far more vanilla than it does. That said, I did recently read a review of the same perfume on Reddit, and they said it was very boozy, so I didn't get that when I smelled it, but apparently other people have. Based on the description, I would expect that you would be able to smell it. So something to keep in mind, my experience with this particular perfume might not be yours. Next is the scent Paradise. I had blind bought this one as a full size. I rated it 6 out of 10. Described as Madagascar vanilla and creamy coconut. I said it's as described. It smells similar to Sud Pacifique Vanille Coco, which is another perfume that I own, but less coconutty. I think with this one, there's nothing bad about it per se. It's very two-note. It's vanilla and coconut, which is fine. I like vanilla and coconut. It's just not particularly interesting. Next is the scent Rose Musk Alchemy. I rated this 1 out of 10, so I will not be full-sizing it. It's described as sensual alchemy of pan-ginger musks and fresh, hot house roses. I said I hated this. I just do not like rose, and this smelled very strongly like rose, as the name would suggest. Next is the scent Scented versus Muse. I rated this 6 out of 10. This is described as single note musk is a non-animalistic modern musk. It is lovely layered with florals, teas, woods, and aquatic, or as a standalone perfume. I said that this scent is very strange. I almost get a pure lemon-scented cleaning supplies note from it, though not necessarily in an unpleasant way. Next is the scent Silken Tent, which I rated 9 out of 10, and I've since full-sized it. It's described as candied angelica, chrysanthemums, white flowering nardo, clove flowers, jasmine-scented rice pudding, blonde caramel infused with golden amber. I said that this is just as lovely as everyone says it is. Similar to Madame Pearl, this is probably their second most popular scent. Said it is delicately floral, but the amber gives it warmth and depth. It almost smells human to me. Next is the scent Surcie, which I rated 9 out of 10, and I plan on full-sizing it. It's described as a sweet confection of affection, heavenly rosewater chiffon, soft jasmine musk, flirty mandarin orange, creamy vanilla, and alluring Egyptian amber. I said this is a lovely scent in a way I'm not sure how to describe. It's soft and wears close to the skin. I do get a little rose, but it is very, very gentle and somehow not super floral. I definitely get musk and the softest of vanilla and amber. It's kind of like my skin, but better. Next is the scent The Magpie's Rhyme. I rated this 10 out of 10, and I will be full-sizing it. It is described as a nostalgia of animal crackers, warm milk, a soft blanket, and luminescent white amber daydreams. And I said that this is strange because I don't really get any of these notes except maybe amber. It's somewhat musky and sweet, but it's definitely comforting. And the very last perfume here is Vanille Amour, which I rated 6 out of 10. I had blind bought this as a full size because it was suggested to me based on my enjoyment of Memoirs of a Woman of Pleasure. That said, it is described as vanilla infused with warm spices, and it is exactly as described. However, because of the issues I mentioned earlier where spices can irritate my skin, I ended up selling this just because I rated it 6 out of 10 and it irritated my skin. So I thought it was one that I could do away with without much harm. So those are all of the scents that I've tried from Alkemia. So next let's talk about my experience with the store. So as I mentioned earlier, I didn't have any customer service issues whatsoever. So I never had to reach out, everything shipped just fine. I believe on their website they say that they will ship within, I can't remember if it's a week or 7 business days, but within a relatively short amount of time. However, they do a July sale every year, and during that sale, they are clear that they cannot adhere to that same turnaround time, and they communicated in various ways. I think I saw it on their Instagram that they were expecting like a 2 to 3 week turnaround time instead, and they shipped within that time frame for all of my orders. So I placed 4 orders from them. The first was February 4th, 2022. And they shipped my order February 10th. The next was May 10th of 2024. They shipped my order May 17th. Then I ordered July 10th. They shipped my order July 25th. And then I ordered August 1st, and they shipped my order August 13th. So you can see that the first 2 times I purchased from them was not during the July sale, and they shipped out between 6 to 7 days, which would have been less than 7 business days. And then I purchased twice during the July sale. Even though one of those purchases was in August, it was still part of the July sale. And they shipped within 2 weeks, which was less time than their stated turnaround time. So my experience with Alchemia has strictly been positive. Of course, I've tried some scents from them that ended up not being my favorite, like Rose Musk Alchemy was clearly not made with someone who does not like rose in mind, and that's perfectly fine. However, they have so many scents that I either have full size or want full size. And like I said, they also have my favorite perfume of all time, Memoirs of a Woman of Pleasure. And I feel just so good when I wear that perfume. Like I'm just completely feeling myself. I'm like in my element, and it's very warm and sexy and feminine, all the good things. And I think this is a very well-established brand within the indie perfume sphere, in that they are known for having good customer service, they are known for delivering on time, they are known for having really good scents. I think what Alchemia does best is florals, and I mean that in a very general sense. I think if you listen to the notes that I was reading off, so like almost all of the perfumes that they have typically have multiple florals within the scent. And as someone who can be hit or miss with florals, I've found more hits than misses when it comes to Alchemia in particular, which I cannot say for some other houses. And I think although I'm predispositioned towards purchasing the very feminine, very like soft sounding perfumes, very sweet sounding perfumes, they just do soft femininity in such a lovely way. And so I think if someone was like, you know, I want a upgraded or like a sophisticated cupcake, I'd be like, okay, you should probably go to Alchemia. Like if you want straight cupcake, there are other houses I can point you towards, but Alchemia is really going to give you that level of sophistication that elevates it to another level. So with that in mind, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you want to do more than that, I'll have a few links in the description that you can use to support me further. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried Alchemia? And if you have, what are your favorite scents from them? AKA, what do I need to be trying from them? I'm always looking for recommendations. And I would be very curious to know if anyone watching this has tried Memoirs of a Woman of Pleasure and what your thoughts on it are. Before I go, I'd like to take a minute to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend watching this video. It really means a lot to me. Thank you.